I'm all right, but man. It's that I was sorry.
They will call the meeting to order. This is a special and regular meeting. Board of Directors on December 15th. The first thing we do is the roll call.
Yes. Director Daniels.
Here.
Director Edwards.
Here.
Director Lindor.
Here.
Director Paul.
Here.
Director Gawain.
Here, virtually.
Thank you. Vice Chair Oglesby.
Here.
Chair Riley.
Here.
All members are present.
Okay, just before we proceed, does Director Gawain have to say something about the fact that she's offline and nobody's present and all that? Do they know language?
There are no magic words.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm sorry, isn't she supposed to identify as per the legislation that no one's in the room and why she's remote?
I'm sorry, you are correct. So we have to ask you, is there anyone else in the room with you?
No, there's no one else in the room with me.
Thank you.
Through the chair,
Yes.
I'd like the second or third time we've been through this. I mean, so maybe someone just draw something up because it's a simple question. And, but we all wonder. And,
I will make sure that we have one.
Yeah, we should have it for the two different, this was a posted away meeting. I think she posted her location. Looks like a better location than ours.
Yes, her location is on the agenda.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay.
And-
Okay, proceeding, any additions or corrections to the closed session agenda?
No, but we do need to open session and then go to closed session. So
Right, well, I thought that's what I was in the process.
you are.
Okay. Okay, so for the closed session agenda, any public comment, anybody online?
We have no members of the public in attendance.
Okay, back to the board, we will not adjourn, we will, what do we do?
Recess.
You have one item on this closed session agenda, Mr. Chairman, and that's the public employee performance evaluation of your general manager.
Okay, we will recess to that, so we're entering closed session now.
Okay, Chair Riley, if you give me just a
Recording
moment.
stopped.
Daniels,
Here.
Director Edwards,
Here.
Director Lindor,
Here.
Director Paul,
Here.
Director Gawain will be joining us shortly, I believe. Vice Chair Oglesby,
Here.
Chair Riley.
Here.
There she is. Director Gawain, we just are taking roll call. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Great.
Yep.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. All members are present.
Okay, thank you. To the GM, any additions and corrections to the?
There are not.
the agenda?
No changes.
Are there any oral communications on items that are not on tonight's agenda? We have 3 minutes. We're open to public comment in person or online.
Do we want to do the Pledge of Allegiance?
Oh, that's right. I sure skipped that one. Okay. I lead out. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Chairman, would you like a brief report out of closed session?
Yes, please.
Excuse me, I do have one member of the public with their hand raised.
Oral communications.
Be Dave first.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, before we go to the public, we're just going to get a report out in closed session.
Good evening, members of the public. The board did meet in closed session at 5 p.m. There's one item on the closed session agenda, and that is the public employee performance evaluation, examining the performance of General Manager David Stolt. The board discussed, in the absence of Mr. Stolt, individual evaluations of Mr. Stolt and comments, and did reach a consensus as to their perspective. Then they invited Mr. Stolt in for a brief discussion of that to give some general direction. No specific action was taken by the board at this time. There will be future discussion of this topic in the future.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll go to oral communications. Any comment on any item that's not on the agenda?
Susan, did you have a comment for oral communications? Susan, can you hear us? Susan, did you have comments under oral communications?
I didn't unmute. Can you try to unmute me again?
We can hear you.
You can hear me? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to say, end of the year, thank you to everybody for all the work you've done this year. Bringing on Mike McCulloch was a great asset. Your new finance director is wonderful. He finances so clearly. Bringing on Water Monterey expansion to make all that water available. And while CPUC continues to disappoint, the district keeps providing clear, factual information about our true water supply, offering water for development, doing conservation, and I just want to congratulate all of you for your hard work. And I looked through the past board minutes, and I noticed that the legislative advocacy was really, really intense and very good. I want to congratulate you on the ACWA award, being awarded out of 10 counties in Region 5. That's a real accomplishment, and I think that legislative push is so important. And thank you for coming out against SB 473 and the 450. The work reduce.
Susan, sorry, we're having
And enjoy holiday. Thank you.
Thank you, Susan. Okay, in-house, we are,
okay. And then we can return to the Zoom public.
okay. I didn't know there were more hands. Okay, we'll go ahead, Tom. We'll hear it from you and then we'll go back.
Good evening, Mr. Riley, Chair, and Mr. Stolt. Welcome back to Dave. Anyway, I had the occasion this afternoon to represent my neighborhood at the Airport Land Use Commission, in which they're proposing 1,300 houses, maybe 1,700 houses on Tarpey Flats. And they were asking the Airport Land Use Commission for a compatibility agreement. And there were no details that they were going to have to make an agreement to whether the proposed developments were compatible. This is for you, Mrs. Supervisor. Ridiculous. Right now, it's bumper to bumper, certain hours on Salinas Highway. I know, I live off of Johnson Canyon, 153 houses and 3 senior citizens units legal, plus Deer Flats is another 170, plus 48 units at Monterey Woods. We're about, between Monterey Woods and our neighborhood, we're about 200 units of housing. Right now, the traffic is manageable. It's bumper to bumper. Sometimes it goes almost all the way back to Highway 1 from Olmsted Road. Another 1,500, 1,300 units of housing on Tarpey Flats. We will be swallowed. How any proposed new housing on Tarpey Flats could be compatible. You won't be able to get here to this office. You'll be jammed in traffic. So anyway, I just want to mention that to you. Some of us raised the issue. It's not compatible what's being proposed by the county. And there's supposed to be an emergency plan for traffic evacuation. We know Southern Cal didn't have it during their fire in January. And apparently Monterey County doesn't have a fire evacuation plan either. So anyway, I just mentioned this to you. It's very frustrating to go and see agencies not have the complete information to deal with it. So main reason came forward tonight was to thank you all. I'm expecting the check in the mail for the cancellation of the ordinance 152 water supply charge. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, Tom. Sarah, let's go back to the public online. If there's
Yes, we have Melody Crislock. Melody, when you're ready.
Yeah, I just wanted to let the public and anyone that doesn't know that the CPUC is coming to town on the 13th of January to hear from the community on Cal-Am's request for more money in rates. And unfortunately, it appears they have scheduled it at the Sand City Hall, which is tiny. And the last time they were
sure.
Now, last time they were here, they filled the Seaside City Hall. So I wonder what's going on. Anyway, that just wanted to let everybody know that they're coming to town again. Okay, thank you. And thanks for everything you guys have done this year. It is amazing work. I wish the community at large knew more about what you have accomplished along with Monterey One. The Marina Coast. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other hands up?
Chair Riley, I see no other raised hands.
Mr. Laredo, since I was called out in the public comment, may I respond?
Yes.
Thank you. I would like to, if that's okay with you, Chair.
Go ahead.
Since this was brought to the Monterey Peninsula Water Management District, and it's something that we've been dealing with quite a lot in the public, I'm just going to let folks know about Tarpey Flats and what that means for the Monterey Peninsula Water Management District. Because I've expressed many times, I'd hate to see development at Tarpey Flats. But what happened at the county level happened in 2010, and it was a 13-year process, and it is a affordable housing overlay that was litigated in the courts and exists, and it's in the general plan. So that would have been the appropriate time and place to fight that potential development. That said, it's in the county's housing element. And what we have before us right now that's equally disappointing is 100 market rate units that have been proposed as part of the builder's remedy. Very hard to backpedal that. But what has happened is it got, for lack of a better word, upgraded to a higher density development that would protect more of the view shed and would potentially build housing that the community can afford because it would be more affordable by design. But that all said, in my mind, perhaps the good news is it would require the county's entire allocation of water once we finally do come together as a board and make a decision about allocating water, this one project. So that gives me some hope that we've got some time, because I can't imagine the county allocating all their water to one project. So it's in the housing element that we hope to get adopted, because we do not want to continue to go down this path without a certified and adopted housing element. It doesn't mean a project will happen immediately, with the exception of this one that is 100 units of market rate housing that it probably won't be affordable to many people on the Monterey Peninsula. So it's a conundrum, but really the appropriate time and place to have fought the 30 units per acre was when it was identified as an affordable housing overlay and adopted back in 2010. That said, I think it should be conserved, and we're also working on that track, and that would be the nicest outcome, I think, of that piece of land, would be that it is conserved. So there's a lot there, but boy, you can keep throwing punches. I don't know what to say. I wasn't here and living in the area when it was determined. Thank you very much.
No actions required of the board.
And just clarification, I think you'll still have about 30 acre feet left over.
Okay. Oral communications are complete. We'll go to the consent calendar. There are 4 items on consent calendar. Any member want to pull an item?
Well, item 4, please.
Pull item 4. That's the only one. Could I look for a motion to adopt items 1, 2, and 3 in a single motion?
So moved.
Second.
Moved second. Roll call, please.
Director Daniels,
Yes.
Director Edwards.
Yes.
Director Lindor,
Yes.
Director Paul,
Yes.
Director Gawain,
Yes.
Vice Chair Oglesby,
Yes.
Chair Riley.
Yes.
Consent items 1, 2, and 3 have been approved.
Okay, item 4.
Just a couple of questions on it. I heard it at administrative meeting. I read it a couple of times. The question I have, Salinas and Seaside, did we shop around? Come on up and tell me if we did. Did we shop around? Did we check with those cities, Otto? Could they come up with a price like this?
First of all, good evening, everyone. We went to the local dealer, Viceroy Toyota, and their prices were higher. And so we didn't reach out to other cities specifically. We wanted to get the best contract that's out there that meets the technical specifications, the environmental considerations, and has a ranked scoring method for warranty and a number of other things. And the state's contracts seem to fit that criteria. So we decided to just piggyback on that contract.
Okay, because I was looking at this and I read it a couple of times, and I even heard Director Linder, she was leading the meeting, mention some numbers, like we're going into next year budget or adjustment of $19,000. We got 55.
We got 55 for one, and we are getting this for 37,000. So this is a real deal that the district would get if we now the state has buying power because it buys so many vehicles, so they get a very good deal on their contracts. And if we can piggyback and get the prices that they get, then I think it's in the best interest of the district, and it would be a good investment for us.
Okay, thank you. I just want to make sure that we shop around local before we go out to Hanford. I know where that at. So good deal, good job. Thank you.
Thank you.
You want to move approval?
Yeah, I'll move approval of item 4, consent calendar.
I second that.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Director Daniels,
Aye.
Director Edwards,
Aye.
Director Lindor,
Aye.
Director Paul,
Yes.
Director Gawain,
Yes.
Vice Chair Oglesby, Chair Riley.
Aye.
Item 4 is adopted 7-0.
Okay, on to item number 5, which is general manager's report.
Your favorite report. And we're only 2 months into the water year, so there's not a whole lot to talk about, but there are a couple of things to highlight. So Sarah, when you get it up, we'll chat, but you have paper copies in front of you. The first chart is the Monterey Peninsula Water Resource System, which is the Carmel River and the Seaside Basin. We're entering a period where I don't think everybody was ready for the performance of the Pure Water Monterey expansion at the level that it is. We had the ribbon cutting 1st of October. They started turning up the juice, so to speak, in November, and we delivered 513 acre feet to Cal-Am. And a typical month prior to that is 310, 330. So what you see here is the Carmel River was not tapped at the budget level. I think caught them a little unexpected. Next chart, you'll see the same in the opposite way, where they had budgeted 660 acre feet for Pure Water Monterey, and because of the deliveries, took 902. So that's kind of the offset between the river and the expanded Pure Water Monterey. Sand City's continuing its kind of schizophrenic up down performance. Last month was merely 4 acre feet. The one that we really care about is production for customer service as our proxy to demand. And when we revamp this report, this will continue to be reported, because this is kind of an update on how are we doing on customer demand relative to expectation. And we're 128 acre feet below or ahead of last year, which is a good thing. But again, it's only 2 months. And I think that speaks to the October rains. What you'll see on the next chart is rain outperformed in the first 2 months of the water year. But the next chart, Sarah, shows that we really haven't had anything since mid-November. So we are about 5 feet from the top of the dam filling and then spilling, and then that'll create the flows needed to begin to turn on ASR when we meet the in-stream flow requirements. So hopefully this weekend, I think the rain forecast has already been moved from Friday to Saturday, but we are supposed to have thunderstorms and probably 3 days of rain. So maybe we'll get to the fill and spill, and then we'll get into the injection mode. So it's close, but not quite there.
Somewhere I heard La Nina year. It was projected La Nina year, which is less rain.
Typically it is. I don't know.
Fair enough.
You may remember John in one of the earlier, and maybe this is in his presentation today, but we did that outlook forecast, and the Monterey Bay area kept falling in that big zone of white, which was not wetter than normal, not drier than normal, but kind of in the middle. And to date, we're ahead of normal in rainfall, but then typically we would have seen more rain in the last 2 weeks. So,
Okay.
I told you this once before. I had a luncheon about a month ago, actually before the October rain, so 2 months ago, with a former KSBW weatherman, and he said, I predict a dry year. So immediately I bet that it would be a wet year. So we shall see. But I saw him again last week, and he said, yeah, then what happened after that? And he's right, we're getting into dry. So it's, who knows? But I think when we get into January, we'll have a better sense of where we're at. And then the final one is unimpaired flow, and you can see we're a little below average, which speaks to the lack of rain in the last 2 to 3 weeks. And that concludes this report. The next report, item 6, Susan Schivoni already introduced for you. I do want to say that we are internally proud of our legislative outreach this last year. We'll start with this one first. We were awarded the Aqua Award. So this is Mike and I down at the Aqua meeting on December 3rd, picking up the award. We were unable to be at the luncheon where it was awarded, so our region gave it to us the night before. Next slide. They had the awards by region posted outside the meeting rooms, and so people got to walk by and go ahead and hit one more. There's us down in the corner. So we always like people to read our agency name. And then finally, the last slide, Sarah. And there are all of our awards. So in 2016, we also unsolicited, we did not apply for the award, and we were honored with it. In 2017, we actually applied for the regional award, and we did win that, but they also awarded us Best Small Agency in 2017. And then again, 2025 was not solicited, but we had a lot of activities where we simply supported an Aqua position. We had some historical knowledge that we needed, that we spent time with Aqua's legislative affairs person. And we kept them informed of a few of our activities. What you see in there, SB 473, for example, as well as some federal initiatives. And so it was a nice surprise because we didn't ask for it. And I think it reflects on, the mouse that roars. We're not a very large agency, but we get very involved. And back, for example, when Prop 1 was passed, we told our local legislative reps, we're here to help you interpret the impacts on the Central Coast. And, as a service, we will do that. And we continue to try to do that where we can. And so all in, you can see from the rest of the staff report, there were a lot of other activities, both the Me Too letters as well as the specific letters and so forth. So we remain busy. We're trying to craft our legislative agenda for next year. One of the things we'd still like to fix is enforcement of non-functional turf. The way that legislation was written didn't help us. We tried an end around approach, and now we might have to go back to special legislation, but that one's not pressing because there's no enforcement until 2027, but we'll stay active. That's all I have to report.
Well, what's good is if you don't apply for it, how do they know about it? It must be the reputation. So you.
And there we are.
But
A
you,
loose
the
side.
district and the actions and the press and whatever else we're doing, the word's out there, and that's really.
Well, yeah, and to express ourselves a little more pride. We did direct our Sacramento lobbyist JEA to attend Aqua's regular legislative meetings and act on our behalf. So we're there in their face in that manner. And then when we worked on, for example, the SB 473, we had JEA there active saying, oppose unless amended, or oppose mostly in our case. So even when we can't get there, we have presence, but then we do get there. And unfortunately, we've spent about 9 years developing a relationship with their director, Cindy Tuck, and she just announced her retirement, not their executive director, but their legislative affairs director. So we'll be meeting the new people and doing the same kind of thing. But yeah, I guess we're an easy mark when they say, hey, you want to sign on for our letter? Can you provide your logo? And if remember, for those of you on the committee at the beginning of the year, we say, this looks like some of the things we need to follow, the trackers. We might want to take a position on this. And then we follow up on that. And I think a lot of other agencies get those requests from Aqua and they just go, I'm so busy. They don't respond. And it's important for our advocacy association to have the support of its members. So we'll continue to try to slip that in where we can.
I think it's a great report and there's a lot of detail here and a lot of information and a lot of the support that this district was providing to, those issues, as well as recruiting other people to be active on our behalf. I'm just curious about the one comment about 473. It didn't make it. It was on a suspense file and nothing happened as a result. However, there's a note here. It says it's a possibility it might come up next year. What
It's because it's a 2-year cycle.
Oh, it's 2 year.
Yeah.
2-year legislative session.
So it's a little bit like the Black Knight and Monty Python movie, the arms cut off and it's like, I'm not dead yet. So we'll track it and hope that it remains dead. But the same issue that they tried to legislate in is also part of the rate case, this concept of decoupling. So
Through the chair, I have
Yes.
one question for the general manager. This is an awesome award, this Aqua Award. Has that been disseminated out to our public outreach and to our,
yeah, we did a
social
press
media?
release. Yeah, the Friday after we got back, we did a press
Excellent.
release. It didn't get picked up. It just
has it gone out to Phil? To
Yeah,
put on
so
social
Phil-
media
Yeah,
and all of
Phil
that?
put it out to his list. I'm not sure what he did with it on social media, but we've got a newsletter coming out Thursday on a different topic. The governor's made some statements talking about water security and resiliency and singled out our joint project with Monterey One Water. So it won't make it to the next newsletter, but Phil has that. And I think I
Yeah.
saw that Phil's on as attendee. So
Excellent. Yeah, I'd like to see it on Facebook page, maybe Instagram.
Yeah.
Good.
Through the chair? may I make a
Yes.
Comment? Yeah, it is an impressive record of work. It's went through all these items, supporting Aqua in many, many particular cases, but also the effort to get public funding for our water supply projects in several different ways. That's a very important and good effort. And our taking a position on this, on the decoupling is also, there are not that many entities that have the knowledge to be able to comment on something like that. And so I think it was probably quite valuable that we did. And the letter was very good. So I want to thank you and anybody that helped with that particular effort. But it really is, there's a reason that we got the award. It's quite impressive for, as you say, for a small agency to do all that.
Yeah.
So thank you.
yeah.
Yeah, and I like reading. I mean, I should say I don't really mean but I learned a lot by reading all of the decoupling that were being made. I knew about the issue, but I didn't sure know the details. Anyway, it was a good read for me. I really appreciate that. All the work that you did.
Excellent.
Any questions from any comments from the public?
Chair Wiley, I see no raised hands.
Okay, back to the board. We will proceed beyond that. Thanks for the report. District Council report.
Good evening. An explanatory note, I'm sitting here in Michael's chair. December's an odd month for some public agencies, so they changed their routine schedule and Michael could not be in 2 places at once, so he asked me to cover for him here. So his apologies. But I'm here to give you an update of pending litigation. The public report is in your board packet at page 173. This month's is just a status update and a list of coming attractions, if you will. Not a lot has happened that is reportable at this point. In terms of active litigation, the Water Management District has this lawsuit against Cal-Am. This is the district's efforts to fulfill the electoral mandate of Measure J, directing the district to acquire ownership and operation of Cal-Am if it is feasible. The matter did come before the court on the 12th last week before Judge Rivamonte. And as an aside, he remains assigned as the presiding judge for this case. He's moving courtrooms, so he was formally and was in Department 13A. In 2026, he will be assigned to Department 14. It's just a move from one courtroom to the other. But he is still the presiding judge for this. Both the district and Cal-Am brought motions before the court to narrow the scope of the proceeding. Judge Ripamonte did hear those motions, an argument on those motions last Friday. And the judge took the matters under submission. Cal-Am had brought a motion for summary judgment that would have resolved the matter in its entirety in favor of Cal-Am. The district brought a motion for summary adjudication that's somewhat similar to a motion for summary judgment, but it doesn't resolve the case in its entirety because our view of the case is that it needs to go on to the next set of procedures in terms of the eminent domain acquisition process. But Cal-Am was able to articulate reasons it felt that it should prevail. The district articulated reasons it felt that we should prevail. The judge made it very clear in terms of comments from the bench. I should say that when it was all said and done, the judge took the matter under submission and there was no ruling from the bench. But the judge made comments and asked questions as to Cal-Am's motion for summary judgment. The court had nothing to say about that and pushed on to the summary adjudication. That indicates to me that it's not likely that the ruling will grant this motion for summary judgment. I believe the question is, to what extent might the court rule in the district's favor on summary adjudication? And if it came out that the summary adjudication was not granted, it would just mean that all of that would still go back to the court for trial. The question that the judge had was, there doesn't seem to be a factual dispute. There is an agreement in terms of Cal-Am and the district as to what the facts are. The question is, what is the significance of those facts? And what is the significance, particularly in light of existing law, in light of how the LAFCO statutes have changed, and in light of the controlling case, which comes out of an attempted acquisition of an electric utility. And that case found that there is a difference between provision of retail electric service from wholesale electric service. But the law has changed since that time, and we believe that there are distinctions. The judge asked many, many questions on that. The matter will be taken under submission, and we will have a better understanding as to where we're going with what significance. You've got some written materials that before you that pertain to that. Publicly, all we can say is we are closer now to having a resolution and understanding of where the court will take this and what are the key questions. And I'm hoping that at the next board meeting, we'll be able to get into that in much more detail.
Okay, Ms. L'Oreal, is it a time frame that the judge have? Because we don't want to be waiting like we're waiting for the PUC.
Yeah, technically there's not a statutory time frame because the matter has not been taken under submission for resolution of the entire case. But I do believe that the judge indicated that he had already written a decision, and then he indicated that he had given it some more thought and he wrote a second decision. Yeah. So I'm anticipating that sometime during, it is the holiday season, and I believe that the judge is very careful and knows that whatever his ruling is, that it may be contested further on appeal. So I believe that it's going to be well written and carefully documented. My best guess is that it will come out sometime in January, probably towards the end of January.
Thank you.
The judge also considered a case management conference in terms of what are the next steps, and the judge just continued that as well. The other next case I'd like to discuss is the district's lawsuit against LAFCO. And this has to do with LAFCO's decisions that limit and affect the district's power to acquire Cal-Am. As we know, when this came to the trial court, the district prevailed in 2023. And the matter is now on appeal to the 6th District Court of Appeals. The next steps in the litigation is for CalAm to file their closing reply briefs. They are due to do that in mid-January. And then and thereafter, the district will have a final opportunity to respond. The next case I'd like to mention is the City of Marina contesting California Coastal Commission's action on CalAm's project. The trial court judgment was entered in favor of the Coastal Commission, saying that its discretion was not flawed or abused. That matter is now on appeal. The notice of appeal was filed in July. The appellates collectively have a joint counsel, and that opening brief is to be filed in January 28th. That's the opening brief. Then CalAm, as the real party in interest, and the Coastal Commission will have an opportunity to file a reply brief. I'd like to comment on the matters before the Public Utilities Commission. CalAm filed on July 1st their 2025 general rate case. This is the 3-year rate cycle that by which the PUC reviews and authorizes CalAm to impose its rates and charges, and also provides authorization to CalAm to modify its operating system by adding facilities and making key investments. We are while CalAm has filed their prepared testimony, we are in the stage where we are reviewing that, and we will be actively in terms of filing responsive testimony in January and February. The PUC will convene a series of public participation hearings in this case. These are located in different spots around the state. There will be a public participation hearing on the Monterey Peninsula in Sand City at the Sand City City Council chambers, and that will be held on January 13th. There will be 2 sessions. There will be a 2 p.m. session, and there will be a second 6 p.m. session. That's for members of the public to provide their statement of interests or concerns. CalAm and the Public Utilities staff will provide a brief statements just to characterize the nature of the proceeding, but most of the presentations will be made by members of the public. And this is the one opportunity for non-parties to state the concerns. There's also a virtual public participation hearing that can be done by remote attendance, and that's set for January 28th. Again, that's at 2 p.m. It's scheduled from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. If individuals have a desire to participate, they can observe and they can just log in. But if they want to actually participate by speaking on the record, there is a specific passcode that needs to be followed. And on our memo on page 174 has the details, the phone number, and the passcode needed to be used for members of the public that wish to participate. That's if they want to speak on the record. Any member of the public not wanting to speak can observe, and we've also listed on this page, page 174, the website, so people can observe and monitor. But if you just go on to observe, you can't speak unless you have actually entered in advance the passcode. The final matter that I'd like to mention is the pending action of the district's lawsuit against the State Water Resources Control Board. This is the matter that was filed in 2010 concerning the cease and desist order. That matter by stipulation has been dismissed. So there's no remaining contested issue between the district and the state board in the context of that lawsuit. But there is a question because the Sierra Club was a party. The Sierra Club and the Carmel River Steelhead Association agreed that the matter should be dismissed, but there is a contested right to attorney's fees and they have filed a motion for an award of attorney's fees against both CalAm and the Water Management District. The hearing on that motion is set for March 26th. And that's in San Jose before Judge Adams in Department 7. Briefs have been filed by the Sierra Club arguing for their justification for attorney's fees. The district has and CalAm both have the same response filing date of January 30th. And that's when we will be responding to the Sierra Club's motion. And finally, thereafter, Sierra Club will have an opportunity to file a reply brief to what the district and CalAm have to say. And theirs is due just 1 week later on February 5th. So we are prepared. We have been preparing and in final proof, if you will. So we will be able to meet our filing deadline on time.
Simple question. What's the normal procedure for, or the cycle of action at the court level before a settlement conference is discussed?
Not all cases call for a settlement conference. Sometimes settlement conferences are informal and sometimes they are mandatory. One of the questions that the court will have in a particular case is this a case that is likely to settle or capable of being settled? So for instance, in this attorney's fees matter, there was no request for settlement conference on that because the parties are very far apart. Does that answer your question?
Well, kind of, because we're partnering with CalAm and trying to find a response to this claim. So-
Actually, the claim for attorney's fees is filed on a joint and several basis against the district and against CalAm, but the defenses are very specific. The district's defenses will not scale up and be applicable to CalAm, and CalAm's defenses, I don't believe necessarily apply to the district. So we are not doing a joint brief. We are staking out our own basis for which the attorney's fees motion should be denied.
And does the judge have the discretion to ask for a settlement possibility? Is that
At this point,
it just seems to me that there's one party that's asking for one thing. There are two parties that are responding to the same request.
the judge that hears the motion cannot be the settlement judge. This matter now is not ripe for settlement. That opportunity has come and gone.
Okay, fair enough.
You can always settle voluntarily, but for a mandatory referral, that time has come and gone.
Okay, fair enough.
Did you have anything on the taxpayers lawsuit? I think we have fairness here on Friday, don't we?
No,
Michelle, do we have a fairness hearing on Friday for the taxpayers?
Right, but it was on December 19th, but this Friday, there was
Yeah.
supposed to be a fairness hearing.
Yeah. And all that means is that Mr. Raleigh's favorite issue about getting a check cut, when we did the mailing, recipients have the option of opting out or saying, I don't like this deal. I don't think it's fair. And there is a scheduled fairness hearing for this Friday morning that, aggrieved parties can come and say, no, your settlement's no good. And so we have to wait on that and a ruling on that in order to then bring to you a rescinding of the ordinance that created it in the first place. You may remember that was your desire months ago. And the attorney said you can't do anything until you get past the fairness hearing. So
Good updates.
Question regarding the general rate case. So how did it come to be that the district has the full party status in this proceeding?
the district has received CalAm's filing. There's a tight time period to request party status.
So we
Historically,
requested it.
we have.
Got it.
We've been granted party status, and then we're in the process of meeting with staff in terms of what is our plan, what are the issues that we wish to raise. And that's in process.
It appropriate? I mean, we have like newsletters that go out from my office. Is there a blurb such as this one that could go out? I think a lot of constituents would be interested in weighing in.
We certainly could. I would suggest that it's a massive filing and we're talking thousands of.
No,
pages.
I mean,
No.
call in to the meeting. This
Oh.
is the general rate case.
Sand City or.
Like the Sand City meeting, either call in or go in person as a
Okay.
member of the public wishing to speak.
And circulating that information. Yes. So.
That's easy to put together. I mean, I could put it together from this, but
Yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of interest
Get you something.
throughout the
Outreach.
district.
Public outreach.
Yeah, good. Good. Okay. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
We will go to directors' reports. Anything that the directors want to add? They've been to a meeting, they want to bring something to the board for information? Round robin? Alvin?
Just one from me. Happy holidays to the district and everyone in Division 1 and through to Division 5. This could be my last happy holidays to you. So I wanted to make sure I get it in because I won't be here next year probably. Thank you.
You won't be here or you won't be on the board.
Won't be on the board.
Thank you.
Praying that I'll be here. Thank you for clarifying.
Gosh, thank you for clarifying. I'm over here.
Not on the board. Not on the board, but walking on this earth. Thank you.
I thought you had one more year after.
Well, the election's November of 26.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
December, my replacement could be, or she could be up here. So I want to say happy holidays now.
Alvin,
No, I get it.
Alvin, we
Thank
see
you.
Holiday.
you're on the right side of the grass.
That's right. Thank you, Mr. Laredo. All these years keeping me straight.
Well, very nice sentiment, and thanks, Alan, for that. Any other comments?
Just one quick one for me. I attended the court hearing on Friday, last Friday, that our general counsel reported on in the eminent domain case. Mainly because, well, first of all, it's very interesting to see how it goes. And if you're physically present, you can watch the judge the whole time, which is different from being online. And because I thought it might be good to have, if the district had physical presence from somebody besides the lawyers. So I'm glad I was there in person. And I saw that at least 2 other directors were observing online.
Online, yeah, I was
Yeah.
online myself.
Well, you was that lone person sitting back there in the back seat. Oh, I seen you.
Okay, well, these are interesting times. Next is, any other director have a report to make? All right, our comments. All right, we'll go to the next item, which is our public hearing items. Anyone can speak at this item. So anyway, item number 9 is the, let's see, hold on, item 9 is the water supply strategy and budget for January through March next year.
Yes, good evening, Director Riley and members of the board. I'll be presenting this to you this evening. This is, as was stated, the proposed quarterly water supply strategy budget for the next 3 months, Q2 of water year 2026, which encompasses January through March. So next slide, please, Sarah. This is the previously referenced slide from Dave. And as we can see, the white area has just barely disappeared for us. And now we are in chances of possibly a drier than next 3 months than of normal moving forward. So we will see how that translates to water operations. As Dave mentioned before, we're about 4 feet waiting for the dam to spill. Once the dam spills, we will be watching river flows at the critical points that are listed in our water rights, and we will be moving into ASR operations should we meet the in-stream flow thresholds. Next slide, please. There are a number of State Water Resources Control Board orders that govern how these budgets are put together. The cease and desist order, 9510, 9804. Won't read all the numbers to you, but they govern how much and when water can come out of the Carmel River Basin. And so we adhered to all those, as well as our District Rule 160 that we adopt every year, which lines out how much we have out of the actual resource system and how much we're going to rely upon from the water resource projects. 3376, of course, will be the limit for the river of the main water right. It doesn't include Table 13 or ASR water rights, which we'll get to a little bit later. The ASR plan, which we refer to as recovery of ASR water. So over the last few years, we have not recovered ASR water. We have chose to recover pure water Monterey water and now moving into pure water Monterey expansion water. So that leaves us a total of 4,392 acre feet of ASR water and storage, which is the largest total that the district has had, and it keeps increasing. So hopefully this year we'll get some ASR, and we'll be able to add to that. The group this quarter decided to not produce any of that water. We're in the winter. This is the season to bank water, not to recover it. Should we move into a drought or decide we need that water in the subsequent quarters, we would move in and schedule that for recovery, but we are not foreseeing that this year, because this year is going to be moving into understanding how pure water Monterey expansion works in the new facilities and trying to get water in the ground that way. And we perceive leaving whatever we can bank this year and adding to this total moving forward. As stated earlier, current stream flows don't allow for injection right now, so we're waiting for that. Go ahead, Sarah. Sorry. Thank you. We do try to assume full recovery of all of the coastal sub areas for native groundwater as prescribed in the seaside adjudication. And as I said, we're going to assume going forward storage of that, trying to work on pure water Monterey expansion. We're going to be likely removing the same amount of pure water Monterey, which has been CalAM's behavior of trying to recover what's been injected into and keep the operational reserve at this current level. Likely in Q3, we'll probably try to add to some of this operational reserve. I don't know, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that the Q3 is our target quarter for that?
To recover the operational reserve or to put more?
No,
in?
add more to it. Not this quarter, but next quarter. Cool.
Yep. Yes.
Cool. Okay, and this budget that I'm about to show you guys was circulated around the group December 10th. That group, of course, is us, CalAM, California Fish and Wildlife, and the NOAA Fisheries Group, as well as State Water Resources Control Board. So now we get into the meat of the presentation, which is a proposed budget. We'll start with the Carmel Valley Aquifer, moving January, February, March, and one of the state board orders. Once river flows come up, CalAM is allowed to turn on the upper wells and the upper subunits. So we've said probably we're going to get some river flow, and probably we'll be able to turn these wells on, and we expect to get around 100 acre feet a month out of those upper wells. Those wells will help supply water to support ASR injection should we receive the rain and the river flow response that we're looking for. And then the lower units should be produced in a way that is going to serve the public and as well as support ASR. So we see that we're totaling, based on if this was an average water year, maybe 230, 320, 345 acre feet, hopefully to put into our ASR project in these months. Obviously, if we don't get the rain and we can't operate, we will reduce the amount of production out of this Carmel Valley Aquifer by that representative amount. And then the totals are listed below for the Carmel Valley Aquifer. We're going to move to produce the pure water Monterey. Go go back one. Yeah. Move to produce a pure water Monterey out of the Seaside Basin at about 350 acre feet. But this is, as reflected in the staff note, this is the base project. We haven't, even though we've moved into operation and got our permits for pure water Monterey, we're still kind of learning, chasing all of the new nuances out of the project. And so we haven't included the additional amount in this quarterly water budget as we're working out as there in the water purchase agreement. There is a component that we signal full completion of the project. We have not done that yet. So the quarterly water budget thought it was prudent to just record the base level project going through this, and then understanding probably we'll inject a little bit more than that. And then the remainder of what we think will be demand on the system will come from pumping of native water out of the seaside coastal areas that is allocated to CalAm to pump and supply to the public in the adjudication decision. So now we can move to the last slide. Thank you, Sarah. So should the board accept the recommendations of the quarterly water budget group, the staff recommendation would be to recommend to us to file, to accept this, and then have staff file the appropriate sequence documentation with the county. And with that, I will entertain any questions.
Chair.
Yes, Alan.
Thank you. If we don't get the rainfall in December, and I want to say in January, when do we revise this? How soon would it take to revise this?
The quarterly water budget happens as a quarter, and so it has the contingency in it that should we not receive it, that's why it's a specific line item of water that's supposed to be produced out of the Carmel Valley Aquifer and go to ASR. So in adopting of this budget, you're adopting that contingency. Should we not receive the rain, we won't produce that water. So it's kind of baked in, if that makes sense.
Yes,
Meaning it won't get revised until March.
it won't get revised until March.
Right. But the operational changes will happen. So it's,
Okay.
Yeah.
So when those operation changes are being made, we can't announce them?
oh, yeah,
It's-
absolutely.
It's keeping the public informed. We didn't get the rainfall and we got
Exactly.
the report.
You'll get a GM report that says we're not making it on ASR injections because we had no rain or something like that.
Okay. Thank you.
I have one quick question to go to the public. I think CalAm was supposed to be working on an extraction well.
Yes.
And what's the status of that regarding ASR?
In a call recently, they said best case Q2 of 2026, which,
This is this season, but
yeah, it's,
if there is a season this year.
yeah. Yeah, and the extraction well serves more than just, ASR. It's really to get any banked seaside water out of the basin and into the Monterey pipeline to go serve the system as a whole. I could see an avenue where they don't get it done till midsummer. So,
Well,
I'm not counting on it,
yeah.
but we will go ahead and deliver the pure water via the contract, some of which may be to our own reserves, but our job is delivery, their job is production.
Okay, thank you. Now to the public comment? Go ahead,
Yes.
Tom, and
Good
we'll-
evening again. Tom Raleigh, speaking as a water guesser. My old source for the supply was the head water guesser from Fleet Numerical. Fortunately, he's not around anymore, but the last time we had the big storm, we had five inches in my backyard rain gauge, which is about a mile from here, mile and a half from here. Anyway, that was in a 6-day period. So if we're going to have this storm next week, if it's the same thing, we could wind up getting another 5 inches. And if we get up there, that's about 2/3 of what we need to be, a reasonable year, 15 inches. Be nice to get a little more than that. But anyway, so one of the thing is, we've got the hotel in PG that's supposed to come on the line. I drove by there about a week ago. in Pacific Grove, and I believe that's about 100 rooms. And I'm sure if it gets opened, it'll be busy. And we've got 2 hotels, actually, Marriott and I think Courtyard by Marriott, something like else in Sand City that's due to open in January. And I think we're going to really see those open up. And the other big water use that's coming online this month is the 64 units on Garden Road. But that still leaves 4 more major properties on Garden Road that were commercial properties in 2010 when that proposal for Happy Flats was listed. And having worked on that general plan update, there's also a policy in the general plan for the county called city-centered growth. And unfortunately, my city of Monterey, had a plan called the Highway 68 Area Plan that was never updated, that was passed by the voters in 1983. And unfortunately, that was never updated. And what that calls for on Tarpey Flats, commercial. That's what was expected back in 1983. But all the things that the county has since approved on Highway 68, Bay Ridge, Pasadena, Laguna Seca Office Park, Montera, and Tehama all came without anything to fix the traffic corridor for Highway 68, Monterey Salinas Highway. How did they get that approved in the air? The county adopted an overriding mitigation and said approved anyway. And that's why we have the same highway today that we had in the early 80s. And the only reason we have 9 signals is because my neighborhood, I was chair of a traffic committee. We asked Caltrans to determine whether traffic signals were, and the traffic count and the traffic accidents. That's why we had the 9 signals we have today. So a little bit of history for you, but something you weren't around for, I was around for. And I can fill you in some other stuff too. Thank you.
So there's always more from Tom. Any comments from online?
Yes, we have Susan Chaboni. Susan, when you're ready.
Thank you. I just had a couple questions about the water budget. If they're doing a contract for a certain amount of Pure Water Monterey water from the expansion, and we end up with the deficit in the rainfall, can any of that, be compensated over to compensate for some of that lost water? I don't know what the contractual issues are there, or because I know supposedly there's it's producing more than what you were expecting for the contract. So I'm just curious about that. And then the other thing wasn't there some discussion? I seem to remember that the district was talking about building additional injection wells after Cal-Am had moved one of those injection wells over to be a well that takes water out. So I'm just curious, is there still some discussion about building additional injection wells for ASR? Thanks.
We normally don't respond to questions from an audience comment unless there's something really short that can be added. We'll go on with the agenda.
With respect to if it doesn't rain, but we're still delivering an abundance of Pure Water Monterey water, we wouldn't repaint the water from green to pink and then move it to ASR. It would just be a surplus Pure Water Monterey water. But you're also going to see that unpumped native water and carryover water then just carries over to another year. So it's just the sum of what you have goes into the bucket. And as long as you're meeting your demand, we can get through. We'll have less, at the end of the year stored in ASR as drought reserve. But we're slated to have a surplus of water here for the next year. So whichever color it is or whichever name it is, we don't move it from one bucket to the other, but it's in total, it'll be enough. So we'll find
Okay,
out with it.
well, thanks for getting that much of a response.
Chair Riley?
Sounds adequate, yes.
Just check in with Susan. Her hand was raised again. Susan?
No
did you have-
follow-up, sorry.
Okay.
No, I
No
was
follow-up, sorry.
responding to John.
Sorry,
Oh,
Susan.
sorry.
Give Jonathan a call. All right.
I see no other raised hand.
Okay, back to the agenda item. Any other comments from the board? I'd entertain a motion that we approve this water budget for this quarter. Looking for a motion to accept.
So moved. Second.
Roll call, please.
Director Daniels? Aye. Director Edwards?
Aye.
Director Lindor?
Aye.
Director Paul?
Yes.
Director Gawain?
Yes.
Vice Chair Oglesby?
Aye.
Chair Riley?
Aye.
Item passes 7-0.
Okay, we're down to more action items. Item number 10, which is memorandum of understanding regarding deep aquifer study.
Yeah, I think this is pretty straightforward from the staff report. In an example of regional cooperation on the water business, we've all agreed, Marina Coast Water District, ourselves, the Salinas Valley GSA, and Monterey County Water Resources Agency to coordinate on assistance with the implementation of their deep aquifer management plan. From the district standpoint, it's primarily data sharing. And I think through the process of data sharing, that also means some of our highly qualified people like John Lear get to also look at data and may divine some, ideas or comments, but primarily for us, it's participating in data sharing. There is the theory that the Santa Margarita aquifer travels through and connects with the deep aquifer. So it's considered from the standpoint of this joint cooperation to be part of the mix. So we will share and monitor and move along, but it's just we offered to help, and they're looking for an adoption as soon as possible. So this is it.
Is the manager of the new data, I mean, the combined data, is that the Sigma from Salinas Valley Basin? Is that the lead agency? I guess that's more of the question.
Yeah, because this is a cooperative arrangement, and even with the Salinas Valley Groundwater Sustainability Agency, they rely a lot on the County Water Resources Agency regarding data. I'm not sure who the keeper of everyone's data is going to be. I'm assuming it's the GSA because they led the charge on a management plan, but jointly with Monterey County Water Resources Agency. So I don't have a good answer for you on that.
Okay, just still curious. Yes, Mayor.
Sure. Because we're buying into this cooperative MOU, we have the rights to the data equally as everyone else.
Exactly. And we also have the right to decide it's not beneficial and we want out. So it's not going to long-term bind us, but in the spirit of cooperation and the spirit of having broader data available, it's a good idea.
Yeah, I like that part of it as well.
Dave, I can answer Director Riley's question.
Great.
Of the keeper of the data. The keeper of the data is actually it'll be the County Water Resources Agency. They were the initiators of this, and it came from their board of directors, and it came from a study that was about 10 years old, where there's a moratorium put on drilling of deep wells in the quote unquote deep aquifer. And it was pending a study. And then this is a study that came out of it, and it spans all of these areas. And so they're the bringers together of it all. And we'll be working with them when we pull it all together to look at it. And there will likely be some type of reporting coming out of the County Resources Agency.
Great.
Thank you for that.
Thank you, John.
Okay, any other comments from?
Yes, the last comment. I mean, it's in our interest to understand and have this information. That's really what I want to say from the start, right?
Absolutely.
We're paying for it, so of course we will have access to the data, but we want to not only see the final report, but actually understand how it's collected and be assured of the information by being a partner. Thank you, Chair.
And what the information is telling us.
Yes,
Oh, okay, Alan.
through the chair, that question that you threw out there, Deep Aquifer, are we connected? Is it a way that we can do a study and find out if we connected? Because we're working so close together, so.
John, you want to take that one?
Yes, we are connected, which is why we're all part of the study. The area that is the northern coastal sub area of the Seaside groundwater basin is connected to the Salinas Deep Aquifer. They are the same hydrogeologic strata. However, there are different flow divides and different things that are happening that's why the Seaside Basin is a sub-basin of the Salinas Basin and doesn't interact with it. But the actual aquifer material is the same aquifer, which is hopefully what we're going to learn more about, is how our aquifer system in the Seaside groundwater basin is interacting with the Marina Coast area. And so that's one of the plans to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, I have one
Yes.
question. Item 7 on this MOU states that there's no representation or warranty expressed or implied as to accuracy, completeness, currency, merchant, and so on and so forth. So each agency is solely responsible for validating and determining the use of. I'm assuming we're all working under the honor system and providing accurate information, but there's no guarantee that it's accurate.
Well, this,
Yeah.
Yes, go ahead, Kate. Supervisor.
I might be concerned, but we're talking about the SBBGSA, the Monterey County Water Resources Agency, which is the
Mhm.
board of directors as well. Of the board of supervisors are the board of directors. Seaside Groundwater Basin Water Master and the Monterey Peninsula Water Management District, and Marina Coast. I mean, these are agencies we work with every single day.
Absolutely,
I mean,
yeah.
and I think that there's also a certain level of transparency in public agencies where you produce a document with data, it's going to have a link, it's going to have been done by an entity such as Montgomery and Associates. I just can't imagine there would be
Inaccuracy.
I mean, if there were, it would be a problem, a big one.
I appreciate that.
The general counsel could correct me. I think it goes to using it for other purposes. They want you to don't rely on our report for another purpose. I'm close to.
And it's entirely possible at some point in time that you're pulling data and your calibration's off and it remains off, and you pull it for 9 months, not knowing your calibration's off, and the data is only as good as what you report. So you never know.
Yeah.
But to
And
the
I
director's point, we're all pretty good at what we do. So the expectation is that we got it right, but yeah, it's possible.
Thank you.
there was a
Hold on,
concern.
let me finish my point. I just was I on task there? I mean, they're going to be very accurate, but my understanding is don't rely on this report for other things.
That's true. If we did not have a warranty disclaimer, then this would be a potential liability,
Sure.
and this would be shared liability. And how do you calculate that? That's basically saying those who use the data take it at their own risk.
Thank
And if
you.
you want to, put money behind it, put other projects behind it, you might want to go get your own independent person.
Correct.
And to the mayor's point, that's kind of one of the reasons was because we all have our own jurisdictions and we're trying to build a conglomeration of data together. We don't want another agency prescribing what we have to do in our area if we decide it's not in our best interest.
Perfect. Thank you. Clarified.
Good question.
Quick comment from me.
All right, yes, Karen.
Some of you may have seen the Monterey County Weekly noted with approval this interagency cooperation and quoted one of them, I think it was the director of the Water Resources Agency, as saying that the jurisdictional boundaries do not align with the hydrogeological boundaries, and it's really important to cooperate on the
Collaborate.
data. So that's good. Good development.
Good point.
Well, everybody's going to be looking at each other's data in a formal way, more formal way than before. The data was available before. I mean, we're all transparent in our own public, world. But this is an organized effort to say, let's share the data, let's share the understanding of the data, let's share the discussion about how it applies and what it's telling us and so on. I think that's a good step. There.
The last point I make is still each agency is gonna say, we reserve the right to interpret this and use it as we want. Right? So the report is a report, but you won't be able to hold another agency to that number, so to speak, right?
Yeah. Use it at your own risk sums it up pretty well.
Okay, let's go out to the public. Tom?
Yeah, good evening again. Tom Raleigh. 2010 seems like it was a short time ago, but that was the adoption of the current general plan. And for those of you that weren't around, our organization and 5 other organizations sued the county over the public services that were mentioned in the county plan. Basically, what was in the county plan was adopted without going through the county planning commission, was stuck in at the last minute. We said, don't put that in there. You're going to get a lawsuit. Well, they put it in there anyway.
I don't believe this is a topic that affects this matter.
Yes, it does. We asked the county to do a plan that would look at the water in the Salinas Valley. And that was one of the things the county agreed to do back in 2010. So this step to get some coordination, and you're in a position to make sure the results make sense. This has been overdue for 15 years, getting a handle on what our water supply is in the north end of Monterey County. And this is to be congratulated. And I thank the supervisor for taking the leadership and getting the county to have this done finally. This has been 15 years. And that was one of the things that was settled by the lawsuit. They did change the public service items that were in that would have stopped all development in the unincorporated area. So anyway, this is good news to see cooperation between the various Monterey County. And I hope that you can keep them on their toes, and they should be keeping us on our toes too. So this is really good news as far as I'm concerned. It shows you how long it takes to get something done, 15 years.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you. Taking this almost 40 minutes. Sorry about that. Anybody online for comment?
No members of the public have their hand raised.
Okay, back to the board. Entertain a motion to authorize the general manager to sign the MOU.
I move approval.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Director Daniels,
Aye.
Director Edwards,
Aye.
Director Lindor,
Aye.
Director Paul,
Yes.
Director Gawain,
Aye.
Vice Chair Oglesby, Chair Riley.
Aye.
Item passes 7-0.
So next item is considering adopting the board meeting schedule for.
Mr.
No,
Chairman,
item number 11.
No, I'm
item
sorry.
11 is before that.
Sorry, Item 11, you're right. Legal services from Shoot Holly.
I can understand you wanting to skip over approval of another 100,000. This is a little bit of deja vu all over again. We came with the same request in March. You should understand that Shoot Mahali is our primary outside counsel on all issues related to LAFCO. And so we have the LAFCO lawsuit that's in appeal, and then we have the eminent domain lawsuit, which the primary defenses have been that the district hasn't met the LAFCO hurdle. And so the motion for summary adjudication was prepared by Shoot Mahali. The reply briefing on the motion for summary judgment was prepared by Shoot Mahali, and work related to The LAFCO appeal is prepared by Shoot Mahali. And so they've gone through their budget, not completely, but within the inability for us to pay their current invoice without additional authorization. And looking forward to potential success of the motion for summary adjudication and the possible appeal on that, then we'll be in 2 appeals on LAFCO issues. So just looking a little bit forward, trying to create enough budget for the next 7 months, if not longer. But try not to spend money we haven't authorized. So with that, I'm hoping for a recommendation.
Any comments from the board? Yes.
Just,
Alvin?
just one, y'all couldn't tell us right now how much we done spent up to now?
On
Can we look,
all things related?
all think, hey, can we look back into the book, tell the public how much we done spent with this attorney firm up to now?
Yes, Director Edwards, there should be a report on Measure J litigation activities, which looks at.
Asking for a number. I know it's
Yeah.
a report back there. I want the public to hear that number.
I'm racing you all. So
Sorry, I'll have to pull the page number up, but it is on there. It is in the agenda packet.
yeah, we've done 200,000 and this will we authorized 225
Okay,
and this will increase the authorization to 325.
325, yeah.
And previously they were our CEQA attorney when Cal-Am challenged us on CEQA. And so we did spend money on them at that time. They've done fabulously. I don't know if you would agree, but
I think they're as good as anyone else in the state on the matters that we have asked them for assistance on.
and I agree with you. I just want the public to know that we're spending money and we're getting it, it's worth it. It's worth it. So don't be shy on telling them it's 225,000, because I support it. What we done up to now. And I support this, so
Yeah, that's on page 207 of the staff.
thank you.
report.
Thank you for listening.
Says 288,000.
Thank you.
I've seen an operation 3 different times. And I'm amazed how tight their arguments are, how precise they are to what the judge is asking for. They don't wander around saying things. And I'm just very impressed. I just think they're great.
I'll just say you won't get too far wandering around. In the courtroom. But I appreciate Director Edwards, just being clear, we should not run away from what it costs to protect and defend the ratepayers.
it would cost less if cases weren't appealed.
That's too easy.
Just for the record, $200,880.
Okay, thank you. Public don't have what I have, so you told them. Thank you.
Through the chair, I'd just like to add, I also think they're doing excellent work. Very good quality, briefing and argument both.
Anybody online that wants to comment on this item?
Chair Riley, I see no raised hands.
Okay, back to the board.
I move for approval of the 100,000 to this attorney firm.
Second,
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Director Daniels,
aye.
Director Edwards.
Aye.
Director Lindor,
Aye.
Director Paul,
Yes,
Director Gawain,
Aye.
Vice Chair Oglesby, Chair Riley.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
Thank you. Now, I'm gonna rush to end the meeting. Item 12 is the schedule for board meetings next year.
Yes, our typical conflicts are January and February with Martin Luther King holiday and President's Day. Director Paul raised another issue with a conflict of the September meeting with Yom Kippur. The calendar works a little differently because
a different calendar.
it moves around. It's a different calendar, much more lunar influenced, I believe, than the Roman calendar, but anyway, so the holiday moves around. It landed on our board meeting date in September. I don't believe we have to solve it right now by pulling out calendars, but we will be sending around a request for an alternate date, either the Monday before, the Monday after, which is probably clear because that would be the 28th.
Yeah.
So I'd probably argue for the 28th, but we'll send those two out to you and see what your availability is, and then wrap up the calendar. So the motion here would be to approve the calendar subject to the survey of the date that works for September, and then we'll just modify it based on that result.
That works for me.
Move to accept
As modified.
as modified.
Yeah.
Second.
I'm seconding. Let me do something here online.
Yeah, we know you're here, we'll pay you.
And she's on a time zone that probably wants to get off this.
I know. About 10 or 11 there.
Anybody online or in the room that wants to speak?
She's in New York.
There are no raised hands.
Okay.
6th Street. It's on the agenda.
Roll call, please, to set the calendar as modified.
Director Daniels,
Aye.
Director Edward,
Aye.
Director Lindor,
Aye.
Director Paul,
Yes.
Director Gawain,
Yes.
Vice Chair Oglesby,
Aye.
Chair Riley.
Aye.
Motion is adopted 7-0.
So this is the last action item. Item 13, election of board officers for 2026. Dave, you want to summarize what our rules are?
Yes, so we've summarized the outcome of our rules here. We have a rotation that typically we do not stray from unless a member doesn't want to serve or a recently elected member is not qualified to serve, which is built into the rules. We do not have that situation here. Our mayor wants to be both mayor, chair of the water master, chair of the water district. And we're looking for any other public agency that he might be able to chair for the coming year.
District.
Chair will travel.
But he has agreed to serve if nominated. And so we need a nomination for both the chair and vice chair, as well as board secretary and board clerk.
Well, I would sure nominate, Oglesby as division chair. Division chair, district chair. And Rebecca Lindor as vice chair and your two officers.
And I apologize, not board clerk, board treasurer, which it was, would be our CFO. Board clerk doesn't have to get reappointed or reelected.
You're stuck.
Okay, and the general manager, secretary, and his the position of treasurer is Michelle Mount.
I'll second that.
Any discussion at all? Change the rules? Nobody wants to change the rules?
Not this trip.
Any public comment that we're aware of?
I see no raised hands.
Okay. So roll call? Please.
Director Gawain,
Yes.
Director Paul,
Yes.
Director Lindor,
Yes.
Director Edwards,
Yes.
Director Daniels,
Yes.
Vice Chair Oglesby,
Aye.
Chair Riley.
Aye.
Motion passes 7-0.
And when we set the board calendar, Sarah will send around what the chair, vice chair meeting dates would be, and then you can look at your calendars and we can reschedule those if necessary. So that.
Okay, are there any comments at all on anything in the additional information, staff reports and so on? All right.
Well, no one's jumping up to say it, but Chair Riley, we very much enjoyed your chairmanship for this calendar year. I thought you did a very good job, both leading and advocating on behalf of the board as a whole and the district in general. So thank you.
I was gonna save it for January. We like you out.
And when he
Yeah,
passes
you
the
out.
gavel.
Thank you.
Yeah, but you out. So
They gotta think.
we ain't forgot you.
This, guys.
We ain't forgot you.
How's that when he slammed the gavel? He's out when he slams the gavel.
Yeah, he's done. This
Well,
is his
yeah.
last gavel.
You'll be getting one in January as going away.
Oh,
You
okay.
chair, so that's.
And I know we're running late, so I'll save my goodbyes to George moving out the table. We do appreciate your leadership. Look forward to it in other spaces.
Yeah, we all do.
Thank you. We'll always be in good cheer, good cheer, and good spirits, and he'll hope it carries over to January. All right, this meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.